A couple of things just right off the bat. I said to Robert when I got out of the theater, I said, this answers the question, what if a progressive liberal activist asked ChatGPT to take the Walt Disney animated classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and turn it into communist propaganda? You would have this movie.
Pretty close.
Or you would have, you'd have 1/3 of this movie. The other 2/3 are something else entirely, and we'll get to that.
The other 2/3 are desperately trying to patch up our mistake by throwing more and more money at the problem.
Robert, can I tell you what I'm really most aggravated about? Because I am not a girl, nor am I an adolescent boy in a man's body. I am not angry with Disney for destroying Marvel and Star Wars. I don't have a vendetta against this company and, a urge to see everything they produce fail. I feel bad that they let this one get away from them as badly as they did, and then in trying to correct it, made it worse. But let me tell you how I've been spending way too much time watching other people's internet commentary, specifically about this movie, but in general. And had Disney not done what they've done over the last 5 years to Marvel and Star Wars, you would not see this many middle-aged men making endless amounts of videos decrying this movie. No one gives a fucking shit about Star Wars except for the occasional child, mostly female. But yet,
I assume you mean Snow White, not Star Wars.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, these guys are so mad about what's happened to their favorite things that now they just kind of look at Disney and it's a lynch mob to see something fail. And when 90% of the content that they're producing is Disney's making bad decisions. I mean, granted, Disney's not helping themselves, but
the opposite in point of fact.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not saying the videos they're making are altogether wrong. I'm saying the fact that this many videos got made about Snow White by this group of people who wouldn't give a shit about Snow White otherwise is what really annoys me, because it's so intellectually dishonest.
Okay, let me back up just a hair on you here for a second, and let me defend a little bit of what's going on there.
Be my guest. I mean, I'm not wrong, but you can.
No. You're not entirely.
You can pick at some of the items. Be my guest.
Hang on. You're not entirely wrong, but there's a market incentive that is really more what's driving this than a personal vendetta. Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of these people are pissed at Disney for, ruining Star Wars, which, let's be clear, they did.
No. Again, no disagreement.
Hang on. They don't like the direction Marvel took. Whether or not it's been ruined is individual. Like, Star Wars is objectively ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, by any objective metric.
Correct.
Marvel downturn, but ruined remains to be seen, believe it or not. Much as we've been negative on almost everything they've done, I am giving that caveat because it's honest. What happened was they started talking about that publicly because a lot of people felt the same way they did.
Sure.
Then, because this is the internet and this is what the YouTube marketplace, YouTube economy will do, you have to keep doing that in order to sustain viewers.
Yep.
So now, whether they actually care about Snow White or not, it drives traffic. Therefore, you must.
Yes. But that is
hang on.
Living in the land of obscurity with our views, I'm allowed to say, I see you people, you're full of crap.
Sure, but at the same time, again, like, there's the market driving forces here need to be acknowledged, not just this is schadenfreude for Disney.
Get that. I'm not really, I mean, the thing of it is you're making an argument that I wholeheartedly agree with. The fact that I'm aware that they're doing it because they need, this is what drives traffic, this is what's hot, it's again, it's capitalism. I get it, and I don't necessarily decry that part of it, but they are such good actors. Because if you watch these videos and you listen to their commentary, you would think that for these middle-aged men who look like me, if not a little bit younger in some cases, that Snow White was the most important thing to them ever, and they are mad as hell that Rachel Zegler did, and this group of producers did what they did to it. And it's like, you're full of crap. And that's what makes it so hard to watch some of these. It's just like, you've got. I could live with it if it was just let's just laugh at Disney make one error after another. The vitriol and the tone is more. Some of them they're laughing at Disney, and I'm right there with you. A lot of them are like, "Oh my God, how could you do this to this beloved classic that I adore so much?" It's like, all right,
Well, in
one
fairness,
does protest too much.
Hang on. In fairness, Alexis will be taking that position in about 20 minutes.
But
I actually feel
I'm okay with Alexis doing it.
Let me put it this way. You know that iconic statue at Disney World of Walt holding Mickey's hand?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go and kneel in front of that and pray for Walt's forgiveness for this movie.
Well, all right. Let's. I've said my piece, so I'm good. You guys can have the rest of the review. I'm going to watch basketball. I'm just kidding.